For some optimism, joining us now, columnist for Business Insider and host of KCRW's Left, Right, and Center, Josh Barro. He's writing about why 2021 is going to be a great year. Josh argues this: it's time to give ourselves permission to feel optimism. With a rapid end to the acute phase of the coronavirus epidemic in the U.S., a return to normal for most activities in our society, a strong economic recovery, and a normal person as president. Josh, good morning. Always great to see you. You also write in the piece that our nightmare is almost over. America is about to be normal again. Flesh out the argument a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're at this very strange point right now because obviously things are very grim at this very moment. We're in for a difficult couple of months, but I don't think people have fully processed how different things are about to be. I mean, you can start with the vaccines and distribution beginning now. It's likely that we're going to have a fairly rapid pace going into the year, especially if this Johnson & Johnson vaccine gets approved, which we're going to have data about next month. So we're going to have really, I think, pretty fast distribution of this stuff through the country that's going to allow a lot of normalization of activities. The economy there's been this remarkably fast growth out of April. It's slowed down a little bit, and people have started looking at that and saying, well, it'll take 3 years at this pace to get back all the jobs we lost. And that's true, but irrelevant. We're not going to continue at this pace. Once you have those changes in society that allow people to go back to normal in terms of restaurants and travel, you're going to see another rapid acceleration of job growth. This is also very different from 2009. You have much healthier household balance sheets. American households actually saved an extra $1.5 trillion compared to normal through the crisis because incomes actually went up in 2020, and people have done this sort of mass Susie Orman saving. Really significant increases in household savings, much more than doubling during the peak of the crisis. And so that creates fuel. Once people are freed to go out again and do all the things that they used to do, obviously you have huge numbers of households that have really been hurting in this, but you also have huge numbers of households that just have extra cash. They've been spending some of that already. It's been a really great year for home improvement, for automobile sales, and then they'll be able to spend that in even more categories. So I think people have this 2009 mind frame of what an economic recovery can look like. I think this can be a much faster and more robust recovery, not a slog that we're going to be going through for years and years and years. And then finally, we're going to do it under competent leadership, which I think is something that people are really not used to after 4 years of the Trump administration. I don't think the government is everything. I think, when you look to European countries that liberals might generally, feel better about the way they would manage their government, a lot of them have struggled through this crisis too, but it will matter at the margin to have a president who's actually focused on saving lives, who actually has an attention span that goes beyond a day or two, and who can really focus on how we take these tools that allow us to recover and do them in the fastest way possible. So I have a very positive outlook for 2021.
It sounds like it, and you're right about all that data. Yeah. Let's talk about your last point about Joe Biden, because you make a very interesting argument that I think is worth digging into, which is you say this is the first president we will have in a long time that America doesn't have a great emotional investment in. Not to say people don't like him. They do like Joe Biden. But Donald Trump is a movement. Barack Obama, in many ways, was a movement. Why do you think it's important to say that Joe Biden, while he will be a competent president and people do have goodwill toward him and like him, that there isn't this emotional investment there?
Well, for one thing, I think it's important for people to realize that the president isn't everything and that you can't give the president credit or blame for everything that happens. And if people don't have this immense personal investment in the president and believe that he's the one that's going to save you, I think that forces people to look for ways to save themselves.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.